There's a secret that separates those who command from those who obey, those who build empires from those who spend their entire lives being exploited, those who manipulate situations from those who are manipulated without even realizing it. And this secret has nothing to do with luck, privilege, or high IQ. It has to do with knowledge, a very specific type of knowledge that institutions, governments, religions, and even your own family have been careful to hide from you your whole life. Why? Because when you understand how power really works, when you see behind the masks people wear, when you understand the real rules of the game, you become dangerous. Not dangerous in the sense of harming others, but dangerous in the sense of no longer being controllable. And there's a name for this forbidden knowledge, a name that has been turned into an insult precisely so you'll be afraid to access it: Machiavelli. This guy had the audacity to write unfiltered about how the powerful really act, how politics guided by reality works behind the scenes, far from the spotlight and pretty speeches. And you know what they did to him? They demonized him. Because the stark truth frightens those who prefer to live in the comfortable illusion that the world is fair and people are good. Now answer me this honestly. How many times have you been betrayed by someone you trusted? How many times have you done everything right, followed the rules, been nice, and still gotten screwed? How many times have you seen people less competent than you rise while you remain stagnant? Exactly. And do you know why this happens? Because you're playing chess thinking everyone follows the same rules as you, when in reality the winners are playing a completely different game. They know it's better to be feared than loved. They understand that the end justifies the means. They apply the calculated use of force while you're trying to please everyone. And the worst part, they maintain the appearance of virtue. They seem like incredible people on the outside, while operating with ruthless strategies on the inside. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the problem isn't that the world is unfair, but that you're unarmed in a war you didn't even know existed? The pain you felt, the betrayals you endured, the humiliations you swallowed, the defeats you carried. All of this happened because nobody taught you the real rules. They taught you to be a lamb in a world of wolves. And now you're here, tired of losing, tired of being left behind, tired of seeing others win while you just survive. What you're about to discover isn't some sugary self-help theory. It's not that empty motivational talk of believe in yourself and think positive. This is the opposite. It's the raw, brutal, and liberating truth about how things really work. You'll learn to transform pain into silent intelligence. You'll discover how to see the whole game while others only see the pieces. You'll understand how to use betrayal, humiliation, and defeat as fuel for your rise. You'll master the art of silence and observation as lethal weapons. You'll learn to gain an advantage without being vulnerable. And you'll develop the calculated audacity that separates those who make history from those who merely watch. But be warned, this knowledge isn't for everyone. If you want to continue living under the illusion that the world is rosy, you can leave now. But if you're ready to wake up, to see reality as it is, to finally get into the real game and start winning, then stay. Because in the next few minutes, you'll have access to the manual that changed kings, generals, businessmen, and all those who decided to stop being victims of circumstance and became masters of their own destiny. Welcome to the forbidden manual of the dangerous mind. If something inside you awakened while listening, don't ignore that feeling. This channel isn't about videos, it's about memories. Remember who you were before the fear, before the exhaustion, before the silence. Each new video here is a different reflection of your own soul, an invitation to understand what the world never taught you. The power you seek outside has always been within you. If you feel that this journey speaks to what lives silently within you, sign up now. Not to follow yet another creator, but to reconnect with something the world tried to make you forget. Because here, every word was made to heal, each reflection to awaken, and each video serves as a reminder. You are not alone on the path back to yourself. Click on subscribe and turn the algorithm into a daily reminder of who you really are. And if you're subscribed to the channel, we have a bonus in the first pinned comment. You know that moment when life knocks you down and it feels like there's no going back? Well, everyone's been through that. But what separates those who stay down from those who get up stronger is precisely the ability to transform that pain into something useful. Pain doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be your best teacher. When you learn to process suffering without letting it dominate you, something interesting happens. You develop a kind of internal radar, a silent intelligence that allows you to read situations and people with frightening clarity. It's as if every blow life has dealt you has sharpened your senses. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Politics guided by reality, not by ideals, is born precisely from this ability to see things as they really are, without the rose-colored filters of illusions. And look, it's not pessimism, it's pure realism. Pain teaches you to read between the lines, to perceive when someone is lying, to identify opportunities where others only see problems. It's a wisdom that no one can learn from shallow self-help books or motivational Instagram posts. This intelligence comes from fire, from pressure, from chaos, and the best part, it stays with you forever. The interesting thing is that this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a silent, almost imperceptible process. While everyone around you is yelling, complaining, and making a drama out of it, you internalize each lesson the pain has taught you. You file away each bad experience as if it were a data file your brain can consult when needed. Think about it. When you burn your hand on the stove, you don't need anyone to explain that fire burns, right? Your body simply learns. The same thing happens with emotional and psychological pain. Each betrayal teaches you about real human nature. Each disappointment shows you who is truly on your side. Each failure reveals your own limits and how to overcome them. And all this happens silently, without fanfare, without the need for external validation. You don't need to go around telling everyone how much you suffered. In fact, the less you talk, the stronger you become. Silence and observation become your most powerful weapons. Because while others are busy talking, you are busy learning, absorbing, evolving. It's like having an invisible superpower that no one can take away from you. Now, if you want to accelerate this transformation process, there is a way. First, stop running away from pain. I know it seems counterintuitive, but it's true. When you avoid suffering at all costs, you also avoid growth. So the next time something bad happens, don't run to alcohol, parties, or distractions. Sit with that pain, really feel it. Ask it, what are you trying to teach me? Second, start documenting your learnings. It can be in a notebook, on your phone, wherever. Write down the difficult situations and what you learned from them. Over time, you will notice patterns. You will see that the pain that seemed unique has happened before, just in a different way. And this perception of patterns, that's pure intelligence. Third, observe more, speak less. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, resist the temptation to react immediately. Just observe, see how people behave, how things unfold. This observation gives you an absurd strategic advantage. And remember, constant adaptability is fundamental. The world changes, people change, circumstances change, but that silent intelligence that pain gave you, it allows you to adapt to any situation because you've already seen the worst and survived. Most people live as if they were playing chess, looking only at one piece at a time. They see the pawn, move the pawn, and think they're playing well. But who truly masters the game? It's those who can see the entire board, who anticipate 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. The difference between those who are manipulated and those who manipulate lies precisely there, in the ability to see beyond the obvious. When you develop this panoramic view of life, you begin to realize that nothing happens by chance. That promotion your colleague received, it wasn't luck. That relationship that ended, there were signs months ago. That business deal that went wrong, the indicators were all there. The problem is that most people are so focused on their own pieces, so obsessed with their small moves, that they completely lose sight of the bigger game that's going on. And then it becomes easy to be tossed around without even realizing it. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that the calculated use of force only works when you understand all the variables at play. It's no use having power if you don't know when, how, and why to use it. Virtue and fortune work together. Your skill needs to find the right moment. When you learn to see the whole game, something magical happens. You stop being surprised. You know those people who always seem to be one step ahead, who are never caught off guard, who always have a plan B, C, and D. They're not smarter than you. They've just developed the ability to connect the dots. It's like watching a movie for the second time. You notice all the details you missed the first time. The difference is that these people watch life for the second time while still watching it for the first. They observe patterns of behavior. They study human motivations. They understand that everyone acts out of self-interest, even when they say otherwise. And no, this isn't cynicism, it's realism. Decisions based on real human nature are always more effective than decisions based on how we would like people to be. When you accept that people act out of self-preservation, interest, and ego, you stop being disappointed and start predicting moves. It's like having an instruction manual for humanity. And you know what's best? You can use this knowledge not to harm anyone, but to protect your own interests. Because taking advantage, not being vulnerable, is about being prepared, not about being evil. Want to start seeing the whole game today? Here's the map. First, study context, not just isolated actions. When someone does something, ask yourself why. What does this person gain from it? What are the hidden motivations? For example, if your boss praises you in front of everyone, it could be genuine recognition, or it could be a ploy to give you more work without increasing your salary. Context is everything. Second, read about strategy. Books like The Art of War by Sun Tzu, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and of course, The Prince by Machiavelli himself. These guys understood the game better than anyone. Third, observe the winners. Take that businessman you admire, that politician who always comes out on top, that person in your circle who seems invincible. Study their moves. What do they do differently? How do they position themselves? How do they build alliances? Fourth, practice systems thinking. When something happens in your life, don't see it as an isolated event. Ask, is this part of a larger pattern? How does this connect to other things? And remember, reality-driven politics demands that you see things as they are, not as you want them to be. This brutal clarity is what separates strategists from dreamers. There are few things in life that hurt as much as betrayal, that stab in the back from someone you trusted, that blow from someone you considered an ally, that lie from someone who swore loyalty. It's a kind of pain that cuts deep, that shakes your most basic structures of trust and security. But you know what nobody tells you? That betrayal can be the most powerful fuel for your transformation. That's right. That horrible moment when you discover you've been deceived can be exactly the turning point you needed, because betrayal has a unique power. It removes the masks. It shows you who the people around you really are. It forces you to face truths you've been avoiding. And most importantly, it teaches you a lesson worth its weight in gold. Never, ever put your safety in someone else's hands. Machiavelli was categorical about this. Your own loyal armies are essential. He wasn't just talking about soldiers, but about resources, skills, forces that depend exclusively on you. When you are betrayed, you learn in practice why you can't outsource your own survival. And this lesson, however painful it may be, makes you virtually invincible. Because now you know, the only person you can fully trust is yourself. The magic of betrayal as a source of strength lies in what it does to your filtering system. Before being betrayed, you probably trusted easily, believed in sweet words, and were swayed by promises. After the betrayal, you develop something few possess, sharp discernment. You begin to separate the wheat from the chaff with surgical precision. You learn to identify signs of falsehood that previously went unnoticed. That fake smile, that help with ulterior motives, that self-serving friendship, everything becomes transparent to your eyes. And this doesn't turn you into a bitter or closed-off person. It turns you into an intelligent person. It's the difference between being naive and being aware. The true human nature is that people act according to their interests, and when you understand this, you stop expecting unconditional loyalty from those who have no reason to be loyal. You create criteria. You establish tests. You observe behaviors over time before giving your trust. And do you know the result of this? You build a much smaller but infinitely more solid circle. The people who stay close to you after this filtering process are the ones who are truly worthwhile. The others, they simply revealed their true colors before they could cause greater harm. So how do you transform betrayal into strength in practice? First, don't waste energy on revenge. I know it hurts. I know you want to make the person pay, but the best revenge is your success. Redirect all that anger, that pain, that disappointment into building something bigger. Channel that energy to improve your skills, expand your business, strengthen your position. Second, conduct a complete audit of your relationships. Sit down and coldly analyze who else in your life could betray you, who has access to sensitive information, who knows your weaknesses. It's not paranoia, it's strategy. Reduce your vulnerability, compartmentalize information, never let just one person know everything about you. Third, develop total independence. If the betrayal came from a partner, learn to run the business alone. If it came from a romantic partner, build such an incredible life that you don't need anyone to be happy. If it came from a friend, cultivate the ability to be at peace with yourself. The idea here is simple, that you are never again a hostage to anyone. And remember the concept that the end justifies the means. Well, if the goal is for you to become someone strong, self-sufficient, and shielded against future betrayals, then any means necessary to get there are valid. Have you ever experienced that moment when someone humiliated you in front of everyone? That feeling of smallness, of shame, of powerlessness that seems to swallow you whole? Well, everyone who has achieved great things in life has at least one story like that stored away. The difference is what you do with it. Humiliation has an incredible transformative power when you understand how to use it to your advantage. It puts you in such a low place that you only have two options. Stay there, wallowing in self-pity, or use that ground as a springboard to jump higher than ever before. And those who choose the second option, they become unstoppable. Because humiliation burns the ego, destroys arrogance, eliminates the illusions you had about yourself and the world, and in its place, something much more valuable is born: hunger. Hunger to prove yourself, hunger to win, hunger to show everyone, and especially yourself, what you are capable of. Machiavelli understood that sometimes it's better to be feared than loved, but the secret is to avoid being hated. And you know when you learn this? When you go through humiliation, because you understand firsthand the power other people have over your image, your reputation, how you are seen. And then you decide, I will never give that power to anyone again. What makes humiliation so powerful is that it acts as a watershed moment in your life. There's a you before the humiliation, and a you after. And if you process it correctly, the you after is infinitely superior. Because now you have something that people who have never been humiliated don't have. Battlefield-tested resilience. You're no longer that person who thought the world was fair, that people are good, that all you have to do is do your job right to be recognized. No, now you understand that politics guided by reality, not ideals, is the only one that works. You stop living in fantasy and start living in reality. And in reality, people will try to bring you down. They'll speak ill of you. They'll sabotage you. They'll laugh in your face when you fall. But so what? After you've been humiliated and survived, those things lose their power over you. You develop a thick skin, an emotional armor that protects you, and more, you learn the appearance of virtue. You learn that it doesn't matter how good you are inside if people don't see it on the outside. So you start taking care of your image, your reputation, the way you present yourself to the world. It's not being fake, it's strategy. Want to transform your humiliation into a platform for power? Here's the manual. First, document that moment. It may sound crazy, but write down all the details. Who humiliated you? How it happened? What you felt? Who was present? This record will serve as fuel on difficult days. Every time you think about giving up, you'll look at it and remember why you can't stop. Second, use it as a filter. The people who humiliated you or laughed when you fell, they never deserve your respect, your trust, or your time again. Cut them out of your life without mercy. And those who extended a hand to you, keep them close. Humiliation reveals who's who. Third, turn it into a goal. You know that boss who humiliated you in the meeting? Work to be in his position in 5 years. That colleague who joked about your failure? Use that as motivation to achieve a success he'll never have. It's not about petty revenge. It's about proving to yourself that you are bigger than that moment. And remember, constant adaptability is crucial. The world changes, circumstances change, but that humiliation transformed into strength, that stays with you forever, reminding you of where you came from and how far you can go. Defeat is inevitable. No matter who you are, how intelligent, how prepared, how strong, at some point in life you will lose. You will fail. You will fall flat on your face. And you know what that means? Absolutely nothing about your worth as a person. Defeat only reveals one thing, that you had the courage to try. Because those who have never been defeated are those who have never risked anything. Those who stayed in their comfort zone, watching others play the game. Now, what really matters is not the defeat itself, but what you do after it. That's where you separate those who will remain mediocre their whole lives from those who will achieve extraordinary things. Defeat has a unique power to forge resilience, that ability to take a beating and keep standing, to fall 7 times and get up 8. And resilience is not something you learn in a course or read in a book. Resilience is a muscle. You only develop it by using it, hurting yourself, tearing the fibers and letting them grow stronger. Each defeat is a training session. Each failure is a repetition that makes you more prepared for the next one. Machiavelli knew this. Decisions based on real human nature include accepting that you will lose battles. But losing the battle doesn't mean losing the war. It just means you need to adjust your strategy. The interesting thing about defeat is that it gives you information that success never would. When you win, you might be winning by luck, by timing, by 1,000 variables you don't even control. But when you lose, that's when you discover your true flaws. Your weaknesses are exposed. Your miscalculations become apparent. Your limitations scream in your face. And that's not bad. That's pure gold. Because now you know exactly what you need to improve. Most people run from this mirror. They prefer to blame the market, luck, circumstances, other people. Anything but looking at their own incompetence and admitting, I was wrong here, here, and here. But those who accept this brutal responsibility, they evolve at an absurd speed. They take each defeat and perform a complete autopsy. They dissect everything that went wrong. They study every bad decision. And then comes the most important thing: they adjust. Constant adaptability isn't about changing your personality. It's about learning from mistakes and not repeating them. It's about having the humility to recognize that you don't know everything and that each defeat is a patient teacher showing you the way. And when you develop this mindset, defeat stops being the end of the story and becomes just another chapter. Want to use your defeats as real fuel? Here's the process. First, make a complete inventory of all your significant defeats. Yes, all of them. That business that failed, that relationship that ended, that job you lost, that project that never got off the ground. Write it all down. Second, for each defeat, identify 3 specific lessons. Generalizations like "I need to try harder" don't count. You have to be specific. I need to validate the idea with real clients before investing everything. I need to choose partners based on competence, not friendship. I need to have 6 months of savings before quitting my job. See the difference? Third, implement these lessons in your next moves. Defeat is only useful if you learn from it. If you make the same mistakes again, then you're just stupid. Fourth, study cases of major defeats that turned into epic comebacks. Steve Jobs being ousted from Apple and then returning to transform it into the most valuable company in the world. J.K. Rowling being rejected by 12 publishers before selling 500 million Harry Potter books. Henry Ford going bankrupt 5 times before creating the Ford Motor Company. These cases show you that the calculated use of force comes after defeat, when you finally understand where to apply your energy. We live in a time when everyone wants to talk. Everyone has an opinion on everything. Everyone needs to post, comment, express themselves all the time. Social media has created a generation of compulsive chatterboxes who can't stay silent for 5 minutes. And you know what happens to these people? They give everything away. They reveal their plans, their weaknesses, their strategies, their fears. They become completely vulnerable without even realizing it. Now, while everyone is talking, there's a minority doing something else, observing. And this minority, this one dominates the game, because silence and observation are incredibly powerful weapons when you learn to use them correctly. When you stay quiet, people feel uncomfortable and start filling the void with information. They talk too much, reveal too much, expose themselves too much, and you just absorb. Everything you need to know about someone, that person will hand it to you on a silver platter if you simply remain silent and let them talk. Machiavelli understood this in essence. The appearance of virtue is often more valuable than real virtue, and part of that image comes from the mystery, from what you don't say, from what people imagine about you. When you talk too much, you destroy the mystery. When you remain silent, people project onto you whatever they want, and that gives you power. Observation is the other half of this deadly weapon. While people are obsessed with their own performances, you're studying the environment, reading the room, picking up nuances that no one else notices. You see that discreet glance between 2 people who are plotting something. You notice that slightly altered tone of voice that indicates nervousness. You perceive who really runs a room by their body language, not by their position. This information is precious. It gives you a strategic advantage in any situation. It's like playing poker, knowing the other people's cards. And the best part, nobody notices you're doing it, because you're not putting on a Sherlock Holmes face, analyzing everything. You're simply present, attentive, aware. The real human nature is that people love to talk about themselves and rarely pay attention to others. So when you reverse that, when you observe more than you expose yourself, you automatically become the smartest person in the room. You collect data. You identify patterns, you understand motivations, and with all this, you can make much more informed decisions. You can anticipate moves. You can protect yourself from threats. You can identify opportunities that others miss. All this simply because you closed your mouth and opened your eyes. How do you transform silence and observation into practical weapons? First, institute the 70-30 rule in conversations. You speak 30% of the time and listen 70%. This applies to work meetings, social gatherings, negotiations, everything. The less you speak, the more you learn. And when you do speak, your words carry much more weight because they are rare. Second, practice active observation. The next time you are in a social or professional setting, try to identify who is the real leader in the room, who is uncomfortable, who is lying, who has a hidden agenda. Make this a mental game. Over time, you will become incredibly good at it. Third, control your reactions. When someone provokes you, criticizes you, tests you, don't react immediately. Breathe. Observe what the person is trying to do. Often, silence as a response is more powerful than any argument. It makes the person uncomfortable, insecure about what you're thinking. Fourth, never reveal your complete plans to anyone. You can share parts, you can give a general idea, but keep the crucial details to yourself. Because taking advantage, not being vulnerable, means protecting your strategies until the right moment to execute them. And remember, the calculated use of force only works when no one sees it coming. Let's be honest about something nobody likes to admit. Everyone wants to take advantage. Everyone. That cute colleague of yours who's always smiling wants an advantage. That family member who seems so generous wants an advantage. That person who preaches love and light on Instagram wants one too. The difference is that most people lie about it, hiding behind masks of altruism and kindness while operating in their own self-interest. And you? You can continue in this illusion, thinking the world is fair and that people are good. Or you can wake up to reality and understand that taking advantage isn't wrong, it's survival. It's not about being evil, it's not about harming anyone. It's about ensuring you aren't harmed. It's about not being vulnerable, because vulnerability is dangerous in a world where everyone is playing chess and you're playing checkers. Machiavelli was crucified for centuries for speaking these truths. They called him Machiavellian, cynical, cruel. But do you know what he really was? A realist. He saw politics as guided by reality, not by ideals. He understood that people don't act out of goodness of heart, but out of self-interest. And when you accept that, everything changes. Being vulnerable means building fortresses around your life. It means not depending on a single source of income. It means not putting all your eggs in one basket. It means always having a plan B, C, and D. It means not blindly trusting anyone. It means documenting everything. It means protecting your information. It means building strategic alliances, but never handing over the keys to the castle. Think about it. How many people do you know who got screwed because they trusted too much? Who lost everything because they put everything in the hands of a partner, a friend? Vulnerability is leaving holes in your armor. And guess what? People will aim precisely at those holes when they want to take you down. It's not pessimism, it's preparation. Real human nature shows us that when things get tough, when interests conflict, most choose to save their own skin. And that's okay. You would do the same. The question is, are you prepared for when that happens? Do you have your own loyal armies? That is, resources that depend only on you, or are you at the mercy of the goodwill of others? Because good intentions are like the weather. They can change at any moment. What doesn't change is your ability to protect yourself, to shield yourself, to build such a solid position that no one can shake you. Let's get practical. How do you eliminate vulnerabilities and start gaining an advantage? First, conduct a vulnerability audit in your life. Sit down and list, where are you vulnerable? Financially, emotionally, professionally. For each vulnerability, create a contingency plan. If you depend on only one job, start developing alternative sources of income. If you depend on one person, build a network of relationships. If you only have one skill, learn others. Diversification is protection. Second, never reveal your weaknesses. People are like predators. They attack where you are weak. So keep your insecurities, your fears, your limitations to yourself. Show strength even when you don't feel strong. Remember the appearance of virtue? That's it. Third, always negotiate from a position of strength. Never enter a negotiation desperately needing something. Always have alternatives, because when the other party senses your desperation, they will squeeze you. Fourth, study applied strategy. Read Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, especially the laws about never fully trusting friends and about creating dependency on others. Study the case studies of entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos, who built Amazon in such a way that it doesn't depend on any specific supplier. Learn from investors like Warren Buffett, who never puts more than 20% of his portfolio into a single company. Constant adaptability requires you to always be adjusting your defenses, always closing loopholes, always one step ahead. Some people confuse boldness with recklessness. They think being bold means doing anything without thinking, risking everything on a blind gamble, rolling the dice and hoping for the best. That's not boldness, that's stupidity. True boldness is calculated. It's when you analyze all the variables, study all possible scenarios, prepare the ground, and then take the leap. But you take the leap with conviction, with speed, with full force. Because the world doesn't reward those who stay in their comfort zone, waiting for the perfect moment. That moment never comes. The world rewards those who act, those who make the difficult decision, those who have the courage to move while everyone else is paralyzed by fear. The difference is in calculated. You're not jumping in the dark. You're jumping after turning on all possible lights, measuring the distance, testing the ground on the other side. And even then, is there risk? Of course there is. There always is. But calculated risk is completely different from idiotic risk. Machiavelli perfectly understood this balance between virtù and fortuna, between his skill and luck. You don't control fortune, but you can maximize your virtue so that when the opportunity arises, you're ready to seize it with all your might. And when you act like that, with that mix of preparation and audacity, you become unstoppable. Calculated boldness has a powerful psychological component that few understand. When you act decisively, even if it's a risky move, you convey confidence. And confidence attracts opportunities, resources, people. It's like a magnet. On the other hand, when you sit on the fence, indecisive, always waiting for more data, more guarantees, more security, you convey weakness. And weakness repels everything you need. People don't want to invest in those who aren't sure. They don't want to follow those who don't lead with conviction. They don't want to do business with those who hesitate. So sometimes calculated boldness isn't even about the move itself. It's about the message you send to the world. It's about showing that you're someone who makes things happen. And you know what's interesting? When you develop a reputation as someone bold and successful, people start giving you the benefit of the doubt. They start believing in you even before you prove it. That's the calculated use of force in action. You've built a capital of trust that you can use strategically. And remember, it's better to be feared than loved in the world of business and strategy. When people know that you are capable of making tough decisions, of taking bold moves, of not being afraid of competition, they think twice before challenging you. How do you develop this capacity for calculated boldness in practice? First, use the 70-30 rule for decisions. When you have 70% of the information and 70% certainty, act. Don't wait for 100% because it will never come. Those who wait for perfection miss the window of opportunity. Jeff Bezos uses this rule at Amazon. He prefers to make quick decisions with sufficient information rather than perfect decisions that come too late. Second, start with small boldness and scale up. You don't need to bet everything right away. Make a small, bold move, see the result, learn, adjust, and increase the bet next time. It's like weight training. You don't start by lifting 100 kilo, you start with 20 and work your way up. Third, study successful cases of boldness. When Elon Musk invested all his PayPal money in Tesla and SpaceX, he almost went bankrupt, but he had calculated. He knew that if one of the companies succeeded, it would pay off. Was it risky? Yes. Was it foolish? No, because he had technical knowledge, a competent team, and market vision. Fourth, always have an invisible safety net. It could be a financial reserve that nobody knows about. It could be an alternative plan that you don't talk about. It could be a skill that allows you to start over if everything goes wrong. Boldness isn't about being irresponsible. It's about taking intelligent risks. And constant adaptability ensures that even when something goes wrong, you can pivot and find a new path. Because in the end justifies the means, when the end is you building something extraordinary. So here's the thing. You've just gained access to knowledge that most people will die without ever understanding. Now you know what Machiavelli knew, what the powerful know, what separates those who dominate from those who are dominated. But do you know the difference between knowledge and power? Action. You can have absorbed all this and remain the same person, doing the same things, complaining about the same problems. Or you can wake up tomorrow different. You can start observing instead of talking. You can use your next pain as fuel instead of an excuse. You can stop being vulnerable and start building fortresses around yourself. You can transform that humiliation into a hunger for victory. You can finally act with the calculated boldness that will lift you out of mediocrity. The question remains, are you going to do something with this, or are you going to let this knowledge die in your mind? Because look, time is passing. While you hesitate, there are people applying these strategies now, taking the positions that could be yours, building the empires you dream of. Real human nature doesn't change. People will continue to play dirty, operating out of self-interest, using you if they can. The only variable that can change is you. So tell me, a year from now, do you want to be in the same place, complaining about the same things? Or do you want to look back and see the transformation that happened when you finally decided to stop being a cog in the machine and become a player? Now I want to know from you, which of these lessons impacted you the most? Was it understanding that pain can make you smarter? Was it realizing that you need to see the whole game? Was it discovering how to transform your defeats into strength? Comment below which part resonated with you the most and why. And even better, tell me about a real-life situation where you could apply these teachings. Because when you write, when you externalize, you internalize better. And who knows, your story might inspire someone else going through the same thing. But look, if you really want to master this game, if you want to continue diving deep into this kind of knowledge that they don't want you to have, then you need to do two things now. First, subscribe to this channel. Because here we don't stay on the surface, we go deep into the secrets that separate the weak from the strong. Second, activate the notification bell. Because each video that comes out here is a piece of the puzzle. It's another piece of the map that takes you to the top. And the faster you have access to this knowledge, the faster you will start to see real results in your life. So don't waste any time. Sign up, turn on notifications, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Because now you know, either you learn the real rules of the game, or you continue being played. The choice has always been yours.